Andrew Callahan of Channel 5. I guess I should have his picture up. Let's do that. This guy, you know him from Channel 5, All Gas No Breaks. And the HBO thing that just came out recently often is wearing this kind of thing. Now, I had seen the HBO thing just recently. In fact, I think we showed Rainy and Alex the other day. It was this right here. Came out just literally the other day. Has been around. Did some interesting work in the past, and is, I think, a lefty, though often frames other lefties as wacky. But anyway, allegations have come out and been coming out about this guy for a long time. Like years, allegations have been coming out about this guy. And it had gone under the radar. I'd never heard of any of these things, but apparently this has been a thing for a while. And this TikTok came out from user Cornbread Casserole. I guess we'll just show this. And this is the story of that. Again, there would be some content warning for discussions of SA, but, you know, it's on here anyway. It says it right there. It's nothing like super hardcore. It's more about coercion, but I want to talk about this because the discourse around this is definitely going to be picked up in your Destiny circles. He's probably already doing it. You're gonna get people. This is gonna be the discourse for a little bit, and the discourse is going to be the following: is coercion sexual assault? So prepare your butts, and this is the discussion about that.
I never in a million years thought that I would be making this video, and I'm shaking because I've tried a couple different times and haven't been able to get my point across, but I don't like seeing abusers.
And from the jump, I want everyone to know that this person is just the latest, most popular person. I don't know if they're popular necessarily, but I mean, like, this video has been going around popularly. This is just the latest person to do it. Later on, we will give examples of other people that have very similar stories. So, I mean, this seems very legit, whether you believe this person or not. So, like, in before any of the people are like, sus or whatever, you know, because whether you like it or not, lefties are so parasocially attached. I mean, everybody is, but I mean, like, lefties seem to think that they're impervious to the thing, and it's like really not true. And you know, get a little full of ourselves here. And so there's a contingent of lefties who I don't think are, like, you know, I don't think they're particularly far left lefties, if you know what I mean. But there's a contingent of these people who are, like, in denial about this stuff, and so if you're gonna try that stuff, good luck. You don't have to. This is just a reminder that you do not have to engage with that. No one's forcing you to have a take that's bad about this. You can do it, but no one's forcing you.
Get platforms, and my abuser, Andrew Callahan, also known as All Gas No Breaks, Channel 5, and whatever his new HBO show's called, I forget.
I hope you very
Shay the Feminist, thanks for 38 months.
Has been plastered all over my news feed, and I've tried to come to him person to person and try to get him to take accountability for what he did, but his version of what happened the night that he assaulted me is so skewed. So I will tell you that he did eventually get consent. And that's the main point, is that he eventually got consent because he wore me down. He told me he needed a place to stay for the night. He had some sort of falling out with one of his crew members.
So this is where a lot of people stop, right? He did eventually get consent. And then the fuckboy in somebody who's like, I like this guy. I don't want him to be a guy I don't like. So that's all I need to hear. He eventually got consent. Case closed. Stick around. Stick around through. Have the conversation, because when you stop right here, this is literally getting the answer you wanted to hear and then having a confirmation bias about the guy you really didn't want to have to not like because you like his work or whatever. I get it. That's a perfectly normal human response, but it's not the correct response. Just hear it out.
Or whatever. And I was very clear about the fact that we are not hooking up. He gets in my bed and wears me down to the point where I eventually do agree to do things that I wasn't proud of. And I wasn't proud of them and thought it was my fault for so long that I continued to be nice to him after the situation. He wouldn't leave my house the next morning. And then as time went on and I processed things, I thought, you know what? Just because eventually I said, okay, whatever, because I was trying to just get the whole night over with so that it could be morning so that he could leave. It doesn't discount the fact that I told him no. So,
Okay. There's more of this shit. on the video. We don't have to watch the whole video. Just get some more detail, but we don't need to for our purposes, because I'm not here. The point of this is not like drama bait about the guy, because I don't know the guy. I've never talked to him. I don't know anything about him. I don't care about the drama. The fact is, this is a discussion about consent and coercion, and we can go on and talk about the other stuff, and we will. We'll go through this thread and we'll show you some more stuff. But if you have to wear someone down to do anything, that isn't what consent is. You can shoot. There's such a difference between shooting a shot or even shooting multiple shots, because, like, you know, there's situations where it's playful teasing to talk to each other, and there's like a flirtation going on, and that's the vibe. This is a pattern of behavior from not just this guy, but from people in general. This is a tactic. This is a conscious effort because it works. You just, you know, you do it in a way, you co-opt language, you say certain things to people. And I'm staying broad because, like, not only do I not want to teach anybody how to do it, but, like, it has many faces. There's not like one way to fucking manipulate somebody. There's not like a tried and true method, no matter how much the pickup artist would like you to believe. So they could sell you their fucking private access to their pool of content. If someone doesn't want to do something and they say no, that's the end of it. It doesn't have to be more. And like, from my perspective, it's really hard. I didn't really grow up in the fuckboy culture. I grew up in jock culture, which is a very different thing, which is an older version of fuckboy culture, okay? So I don't really identify with the fuckboy tactics here, so it's really hard for me to even really understand the mentality of wearing someone down, because it only comes from a selfish place. It's really hard to hear these stories and not get really heated. I try really hard not to get angry, but, like, have you talked to women? Like, have you talked to them ever about their experiences with men? It's fucking hard. It's so wild. I don't know. I'm trying not to get myself pissed off. Anyway, there are other stories. We don't have to get into any of this specific stuff necessarily. This is a follow-up with receipts, and this is just what we can look at instead. There's other. You can go to the thread yourself if you want to look up, if you really want to investigate this shit. But it's not about the drama. It's about the conversation for me.
I can't mentally handle this anymore. This was Andrew and I agreeing to hang out when he was in St. Pete
in 2021. So this is like literally receipts.
This was us the night at the bar. We went into the bathroom to take a photo because this bar, the bathroom has its own Instagram page, and it's just something people do at that bar. Also, like I said many times before, I trusted him, you know, and people are blaming me for trusting him, and I did, you know, and it is what it is.
Like, this is so odd. Oh, well, it looks like you're having a good time in this picture. Like, this is what dudes will do. Like, what do you mean he coerced you? Looks like you were having a good time.
I hope you guys
looks
have
like you were having a good time. What do you mean? He wasn't supposed to, like, think that you were down to fuck. Habitual dodo, thanks to 24 months. I swear to you, it's possible to have platonic relationships with people. I swear to God, it is possible to have a good time with somebody in a platonic way. And I swear, it's also possible for a platonic relationship to become not platonic, or you could have platonic sex. You could do all these things. Guys, not every positive interaction with a woman is another step towards you fucking them. I really need you to hear that. Not every positive interaction you have with someone is another step toward you fucking them. Do we get it? Are we hearing it? It's not a fucking game of investment. It's not a fucking, like, the goal. Your brains are broken. Your brains are fucking broken. I can't.
People are blaming me for trusting him, and I did, you know, and it is what it is. This is a comment from someone who I've been speaking with about what happened to her. This is a message I got about a year ago from someone who said that he has been known to associate with underage girls. This is the story from the same person of her experience. You can pause to read any of this stuff. This is about how he was canceled on his French Quarter confession show when he went to Loyola because of the same sorts of allegations.
Yeah.
You can pause to read that. Just another story. He's got a list of women who he gets to give him head. Another instance of sexual assault. And I'm keeping these people private, and they've all consented to me sharing their stories. And I'm doing so because I've already put my face out there. I'm already getting all the hate. It is what it is at this point. There's another story. More people saying that they've heard about this before. Another story. My inbox is flooded with people saying that they are proud of me for speaking up because they're too scared to, so I'm sharing their stories for them. This is absolutely taking a huge toll on my mental health. I can see that a lot of you don't want to believe women when they come forward about things, and I've just got to say that says a lot about your personality and who you are. This is the hardest thing I've ever had to do, and if you think I'm making it up, that's on you.
Other people have had stories. I mean, you can just go on Twitter and see other people's stories about this, of him like wearing people down. I mean, there's IG stories. This is from. I want to show this one because this is from 2020. 2020, June 2020. Right after he is done with COVID, according to his own timeline on his recent documentary, by the way. Some more context on the last post. Hung out with at All Gas No Breaks, which is Andrew, last night. And he was in Nashville, and he was trying so hard to fuck my drunk friend, who made it clear she said no. Manipulate ass motherfucker was using his platform to get girls to sleep with him. He's currently touring and living in his RV, so watch out if he comes to your city. I mean, this is just on it. It's not like a big expose. It's just a fucking part of the story, dude. Look at this. At 4:29 a.m. Like, this is just obviously genuine. I don't know, man. There's some people like on their bullshit about this one. There's, other people giving their stories and stuff. It's hard to be like, as the one good man that exists. Like, I mean, I'm not trying to claim that. I do think I'm a pretty good guy, but like, I'm not gonna be here and sit here and try to be the arbiter of that shit. But man, I have seen peers be fucking cringe. Be really fucking cringe about this kind of stuff. And then take that cringe and turn it into actual fucking harm causing. Like, luckily I haven't had any friends, to my knowledge, really do anything incredibly fucked up. I mean, the most fucked up things I can think of from my immediate friends are dudes that like had infidelity or whatever in monogamous relationships. And like, yeah, that's fucked up too. But like, this is another level. Like, we're on some manipulation shit. This isn't the only guy that does this. Lots of people do it, and they use their platforms and stuff to try to manipulate people. I've always tried to be really careful about that. My interactions with people are platonic in nature on purpose. If, like,
I hope you have a fantastic day.
Like, there's such a difference between, like, flirting is also can be a platonic act. Puppo Chief a head pass, actually 18 months. Thank you. I appreciate you. I guess in my perspective, I don't see anything inherently sexual insofar as like it involves sexuality, but it doesn't involve, eventually we fuck. Sharing a mutual attraction to one another and then sort of talking about that or flirting a little bit. I don't find that, and this is just me, I don't find that to be like an in. I guess that's like, okay, that's good to know. That's nice. I'm glad that we socially have that. That says to me that like we're just communicating mutual attraction. Doesn't mean we're fucking at all. It means that we are okay. We're sharing an adult interaction. And like, especially when you start to get, at least in my generation, to the age where I'm at, when people flirt, I mean, people are pretty just open about it. People are just like, it's a very consensual back and forth. I don't know if I have a sweet spot or if I've just been lucky with people and their communication style. I don't know, man. It just seems so weird to me. and really fucking scary that there are groups of people, including girls, that think if you get worn down, that is consent. Now, the troubling thing about this conversation is it's always going to be dudes like floating out hypotheticals, partly because either A, they've done it, or B, they think about doing it, or C, they've done it and failed. These are the guys that think like wearing somebody down is just like part of it. Because like think about natural. Think about it in old media and stuff. Like, I don't know. Indiana Jones. Like, you fucking want it, dude. Like, there's so much of this baked into our culture that it's women. The point of women is to have sex with them, is a lot of what's driven home about men. Think of like coming of age movies. American Pie. I gotta have sex before I graduate. I gotta have sex. I gotta like listen to the asexuals for 2 seconds talk about it, and like truly try to listen to them, because they'll open your eyes to this shit if they're not already open. Okay, like the amount that sex and objectivity of women is pushed on men, and we're only talking from a cis perspective. Obviously, trans people deal with this, but it's a more complex situation for you. Okay, just let me and my cis brothers. Okay, I'm talking to you, cis boys, because you're usually the fuck boys. Let's be real. There's not trans fuck boys or girls. Got my fucking eye on you too, but cis fuck boys, we need talking to. Okay. There is like, I'm a guy who likes to fuck. Okay. I have a high sex drive. It's not a joke. We're not like making haha funny cum jokes. I mean, like, it just is what it is. Real talk. I have a high sex drive. I like to fuck. It's not like I need to fuck every fucking day. It's not the case, but I could, unless I'm like grumpy or whatever. But like, it's so weird how some people feed into they put it on their Sims hierarchy of needs bar. Like, I gotta fuck instead of social. Having sex is a social act. Like, I need people to understand this. Sex is social. You can't be antisocial in having sex, really. It's a social act. You do it with another person, and you communicate during the process, prior to the process, and after it. Even if it's casual. Especially if it's casual, usually, in my experience, like, people who are very casual about having sex, like, it's about boundaries and fun. Respect each other's boundaries and have fun, and that's it. That's the whole thing. You don't need more than that. It's not an interesting perspective. It's the facts. It's not. This isn't an opinion. This is objectively true. Having sex is social. It just is. Like, even if you have aspects of anonymity to it, there's social aspects to it. Like, you could be in a dark fuck dungeon. There's a social expectation within that space, no matter what. Sex is about consent, and coercion is subversion of consent. Even if you eventually get a yes. Thought experiment. Very easy thought experiment. We'll get away from the real life for a second. We'll go to fantasy. Is it consent when someone signs a contract with the devil and the devil tricks them into whatever it is? It's also Coconut Island. I mean, like, think about capitalism. If you can't get around, if you believe capitalism is coercive, like, if you're a leftist and capitalism is coercive, how is wearing someone down not coercive? An example, Coconut Island. You're stranded on the island. It's classic. I think Vosh uses it very famously. Coconut Island. It could be any island. It could be Banana Island. It could be Apple Island. Doesn't matter. Two people locked in a space together. It could be a fucking jail cell. But one person has all the coconuts, right? And you need those coconuts to live. And the person that has all the coconuts is like chilling, and you're like, boy, I need some coconuts, bro. And the guy with the coconut's like, okay, you can have coconuts if you suck my dick. It's not different. It literally applies to this situation. Because in this, it was like, hey, will you do it? No. 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 So the coercion here is not coconuts. It's shutting the fuck up stopping being annoying if you do a thing. And some people who are casual sex, myself included, some people, like, yes, it makes sense that you could be like, okay, I'll do this social act very quickly, get it over with, be done. And then afterwards feel tremendous annoyance and guilt over it and be like, because honestly, like, think about this. They went out and had a good night together. You know what I'm saying? Went out, had fun, nice, consensual, semi-platonic, flirtatious interaction. And then they're laying in bed or something, or they're laying down, and she says no, and he continues to persist. Like, I don't know how guys don't understand this. It almost sounds like if the vibe was better, they probably would have, but he was a little grating and annoying. Like, and then he continued to do that to get what he wanted. And it's not the first person that's had this conversation. I'm mutuals with people who have stories about this guy, and they're all very similar. They're like, I didn't want to do it, or he was trying to convince my friend, but she was too drunk, and I told her not to, or, and like, it's always that shit. It's always coercive. They're always under the influence. It's always been after a long night. And granted, like, when I get drunk or high, well, very high at this point. If I get drunk or very high, yeah, I mean, horny happens. It's part of your experience. Obviously, when people drink, they get less inhibitions, and they're more likely to try to do something like this. But it's an explanation, not an excuse. You don't get to use the excuse, I was drunk, when you fucking hit someone with your car. Why do you get to do it when you violate someone's consent? You feel me? I don't know. There doesn't seem to be a reasonable, consistent with leftism argument to what he did was fine. Like, the only people that will talk about this will devolve into conversations about transactional sex. Like, they went out and had a good day. Obviously, they went out. Did he pay for drinks? Like, was he good? He was good, though. It says that you had a good, he was nice. As if being nice means you get to have sex now. It's just wild. The expectations that dudes seem to have about sex with women has always blown my mind. And I think, for the record, this is why, part of the reason why I fuck is because everybody else is fucking inadequate. Because they're little boys that don't understand how to talk to people. Like, can you imagine your life if you were nice to be around? I don't know. I'm talking to the fuck boys now. I just don't understand how you can justify this kind of thing. I mean, you may like the guy's work. It's not even really about him. It's about the mentality that goes behind it and the other guys that do this shit all the time. Because in this case, Andrew was using his platform and his popularity and his newfound viral sort of stuff. He was using that as an in, and obviously fame and social capital helps. Like, it does, of course, assist in mostly meeting people, I would say. I don't think it makes you more attractive necessarily, although depending on your influence, of course, like, really, really rich people or clout, if you're very into, like, sharing the clout thing, that can get you, but that's, like, the same thing. But, like, really what I think it does is it exposes people to you, and then they seek you out, and you're more likely to run into people that are attracted to you because of, you're famous for a reason. There's an attractive quality to you already. Anyway, that's a whole parasocial fucking thing. That's a thing that's been kicking around in my head. And predators seek power. I don't know that there was a seeking of power in exchange for predatory abilities. Like, I'm not going to say the nefarious goal of doing the online show was to get the girls, but, like, it's definitely a perk of being popular is that more people will pay attention to you, and the more people that pay attention to you, the more likely you're going to find someone in that crowd of people. Like, you're just socializing with more people, the more likely you're going to run across someone that's DTF, you know what I'm saying? And so, like, I believe, as someone with a platform, although much smaller, I believe that it is my responsibility, at whatever level of popularity or lack thereof I may have, I think it's my responsibility not to exploit that. The exploitation is already inherently there in that I already have exposure to people attracted to me, right? But to further exploit that would be to constantly use any influence I may or may have with that person to, like, you know, make me enticing in some way, or make like there's a difference between like flirting and like, you want to fuck, you want to hear about my dick, you want to see my dick, you want to fucking see my you know what I mean? Like, what a weirdo. What a weird, I don't know, it's just odd. I can't get my head around this kind of stuff from a, like, I can't empathize with the point of view of the noble fuck boy. But it seems to pervade the society. Women will tell you stories all the time of, like, especially their early sexual experiences. Just ask any woman that you, like, appreciate the opinion of and that you care deeply about, and that it would piss you off if someone did something bad to them. Go ahead and ask them questions about their experiences with male sexuality, as it's aimed toward them. I mean, gain a little perspective, because, like, obviously, as a guy, while I have people attracted to me and, you know, relationships happen and whatever, people are not. Women are pussies. Hear me out. Women are pussies. They don't like, when it comes to this kind. They don't like to shoot their shot. Some do, absolutely. But women are socialized to sort of wait for that to happen. Pussies, cowards. Just giving you shit. But really, it's true, right? Like, guys are supposed to shoot the shot and whatever, and so it's a little different. Guys think that because we're expected to shoot shots, that shots include, like, shots of their dick. Like, no, brother. Like, in my opinion, every relationship is platonic, and that's how it should be. It is. I mean, it just is. It's not like how it should be. Men fuck this up a lot. I mean, it's not just men that fuck this up, but it's really men that fuck this up a lot. You know, you're with a, you know, ladies, you ever had a friend and they just, like, they get feelings? Sarah's had to deal with this in the past for her whole life. You know, you have a friend and you gotta handle a little crush. This happens in general to people, irrespective of their genders, but it really happens to women, cis women specifically. Like, you grow up a cis woman, sure, definitely. Like, the odds of that happening skyrockets in you. Everybody can experience this, but damn, I promise you, platonic relationships are possible, dude. Please hear me out. Platonic relationships can happen. They're good, and sometimes, without you trying, platonic relationships become not that. And that's good too. It's okay. Have no expectations going. And like, the only time you get to have expectations going into a relationship is, like, the hookup apps. Like, that's what we're here for. We're here to hook up. It's whatever. That's fucking fine. Like, if you pre-negotiated that, that's consent anyway. But, like, I'm saying, like, people are like, oh, I don't know how to talk to people. No one will love me. I need to find a girlfriend. I need to find a boyf. I need to do, a lot of these people are very pressed about stuff, especially the guys who are pressed about that. The opposite of the fuck boy, which is, it's not really the opposite of the fuck boy. It's the fuck boys who don't fuck. You know what I'm talking about. Fuck boys who don't fuck have this problem, specifically, usually. Obviously, it's not all fuck boys, but fuck boys that don't fuck have this problem. And it's like, and that was the discourse prior to this, right? We had the lonely men. A lot of the problem there is that they don't treat humans correctly. I mean, they just don't. They treat them transactionally. They treat them. It's not just limited to fuck boys or boys, but I mean, you treat human beings like, you are to be my fuck boy, or my fuck mate. You are to be my friend. You are here for me to talk at. Like, it's a lot of wild stuff, man. It's a lot of wild stuff. You better be pure. Yeah, I guess we go into the Dave shit, but it's not just that. It's like, it's not even into the involuntary celibacy aspect. Not even, you don't even have to quite get to that point. Some people act like this outside of that ideology. You know what I mean? Where they don't understand what human relationships really are. Like, a lot of people have relationships at people instead of with them. Sheesh. Mixed signals. Mixed signals don't have anything to do with consent. You can send mixed signals. It's not okay. Some dudes are so unfamiliar with basic kindness and need positivity sees a green light. Yeah, I think that's a part of it too. Like guys will definitely see a woman being nice as, like, Oh, she's interested. No, not necessarily. No. Any more than when you're nice, you're interested. Unless that's how you fucking act, which is odd. Being nice is not... Flirting does not necessarily mean someone wants to fuck, guys. I really can't stress that enough. Flirting is absolutely a thing you can do without desiring to have sex with somebody. It could lead there, but everybody seems so pressed about this kind of shit. It's really odd to me. Dudes are weirdos. Not just dudes, but dudes are weirdos. Yes. Basic kindness to sleep in the bed. I've slept platonically in beds with people. I mean, it's not that big a deal. It's not your bed is not an inherently sexual place. That's you putting that on the situation. I absolutely have had platonic like not necessarily cuddles, but slept in the same bed platonically. I've had sex with people and then platonically slept together. Huh? How about that? Like, yeah. It happens. I've shared beds platonically with men too. Sometimes we would come. We worked at McDonald's together, me and my buddy Dave, and my house was closer, and we would have to go in and work the same shift the next day, and we would just hang out, play video games, and we were poor. I only had the one bed. He would sleep at the other end. I would sleep on my end, and we'd fucking sleep in the bed together, man. Just bros being bros. Yeah. I don't know. I think framing things as inherently sexual is the problem there, not the sleeping in the bed together. She said no, but we were in a bed, so her words are no. Yeah, it's like, I don't know if there's ever going to be a societal change when the people who push consenting relationships barely have any reach when compared to the pickup artists. Well, the pickup artists aren't like actually fucking. So yeah, I mean. This stuff just pervades culture. It's already pervading culture. It's in all your popular media. There's a culture shift. Like, look at any of your popular media. The vibe is totally different. Like, millennials are in charge of that shit now, and we are writing out our feelings. How many movies, whether they're for kids or adults, have been about fucking daddy issues or fucking capitalism in the last 5 years? Because we're in charge now. Culture's shifting. Culture's big shifting.